Hey everybody, welcome back to the next episode of the Balanced Vibes podcast. And today's episode is the last one of the 4-episode series where I'm telling you a little bit more about myself. And I call this series Get to Know Me. And if you have not listened to the first 3 parts of this mini series, please go ahead and do so, because otherwise it's going to be tough to catch up. Like, what is she talking about? What is she trying to say? So I really recommend that you go through these episodes in the sequence. They're not too long. They're all about 10 minutes long. So I'm sure you can do this. And so that way you can get a much better idea of why I'm talking about the way I'm talking about things now, and what were the shifts that kind of caused me to be the coach that I am today and help women the way that I help them today. So last time we ended with how I decided to give macro tracking a try. And this was after I had gained a little too much weight, more than I was comfortable with. And so I reached out to my friend Jenny, who is a macro coach, and I was not sure if I want to do it. Let's be honest here, because I was like, okay, I had like a really obsessive relationship with food previously. Is this going to be the same thing now? What if the macro tracking is going to be very stressful? What if I'm not going to be able to do this? What if? But at the same time, I had also seen that, number one, intuitive eating had not given me any results that I had wanted to see. And number 2, I was not feeling athletic and strong and fit. I wanted to see my muscles. I wanted to have some shoulder muscles. I wanted to have some leg muscles. I was tired of being like soft and not athletic. I mean, athletic is the main word that I want to use to describe where I was coming from. I missed that because I had always been an athlete. So I reached out to Jenny and I talked to her, and she had me track my 5 or 6 days of my regular food intake, and based on that she then gave me initial numbers to look at, because like I mentioned in my previous episode too, I had listened to a lot of podcasts about like macros, or like not specifically about macros, but where macros kind of came up every now and then the advice on those podcasts was like, yeah, maybe you should eat a little bit more carbs, maybe you should have a little bit less fat, and I had no idea what those like more and less meant. I had no context, right? I had no idea what I was doing. And so now Jenny gave me her numbers, and she said, we're going to do just a small deficit with you. We're going to see how this goes, because I want to cut as little as possible. You may see amazing change. And she was absolutely right about that. And this is what I actually use in my coaching too. I mean, getting ahead of myself, but I did later get certified as a macro nutrition coach myself. So this is what I do right now. And I agree with her. There's no point in taking calories down too much, too quickly, because then you're more likely to hit a plateau, more likely to cause some issues. So why do we have to take down so much if we can get away with cutting less? Anyways, finally had some numbers to look at. I started tracking my protein, I started tracking my calories, and first I really emphasized the protein. And that alone, whoa, that was amazing. I saw a good change in 4 weeks, and I didn't know, is there going to be a big change? But when I took side-by-side photos, I was like, oh yeah, absolutely there is a change. And I remember sending my photos to Jenny, and she was like, wow, this really works. Congratulations, you're doing great. And so I started also tracking my fats and my carbohydrates a little bit more accurately. But I was never the one who was like, I have to hit my numbers on the dot. And it was just, I already knew that I cannot go into this with this mindset, because this old perfectionist tendencies could have come up and been like, oh, you didn't do this, like this is wrong, you have to do it exactly like that, blah, blah. And I was like, I'm going to be really chill about it. I'm going to hit my numbers as well as I can, but I'm also going to go eat out. I'm also going to have wine. I'm also going to have cheese. I'm not going to say no to anything. And this is really what macronutrition is about. So I started doing that. And of course, at the same time, I also started weight training. I mean, I had been doing weight training before too, but I had never really used really heavy weights. I'd done, a couple things here and there, and then it was still always kind of like how I used to do the HIIT training, do a lot of kettlebell swings and do a sprint, and then do squats and then sprint, and, do some med ball slams and all that kind of stuff. These are not bad workouts. These are very like boot camp style workouts, and I used to teach boot camps and I love them. They're great. But then I finally started with real muscle building workouts, picking up some bigger weights, using the heaviest dumbbells that I had. This is I had like 52 dumbbells. I had 2 of those and they were adjustable. So I was able to go up to like 52 pounds on each dumbbell and finally work my way up to, doing squats with them. And this is where I started seeing some real changes in my body, and it was incredible. And I'm not telling you that I was like jacked like a bodybuilder. I've never had like ripped abs, super lean abs, or I've never even had that goal that I have to be that way, because like I said, I wanted to be able to still drink my wine and eat out. And, if you want to get ripped like a bodybuilder, you have to sacrifice a lot. And I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to fit in my clothes and feel fit and athletic and do a few pull-ups that I couldn't do for a while because my body weight was just so high. So I made these changes and I realized that this is not that hard. It's not that hard. If you're not letting yourself to get super obsessive, if you are giving yourself enough rest days, which I was really good at and I still am, because I know that this is what is needed for your body to respond well, then you can absolutely do this. And then I was like, okay, this is really cool because I'm not doing anything extreme anymore. Yeah, tracking takes work. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that tracking is not work or everybody just gets that like that in 5 seconds. No, there is some learning in the beginning. But what's so cool about macros, and I really like it, is like you can have all the things that you want. And also because I didn't take my calories down super low, I never felt like, oh, I'm starving, I'm so hungry, I can't be, the way I had been in the past when I was running so much and eating so little. So I never, like those binges never came back anymore, and I was able to eat totally normal. And, trust me when I say that I still do have pretty major sweet tooth, which I had to work on when I realized that some of my hormonal issues were because of that. So I had to cut my sweets down, but I'm still having some sweets to this day. Every single day I have something. And so I was able to have all these things. I had the flexibility. I just had to fit within my numbers. And then the strength training, of course, was another big game changer because I really started to realize how you don't have to do the depleting, exhausting, terribly, like, what would I say? Like, what would be a good word? Grueling workouts, maybe, that I used to do in the past that left me so tired. And I remember I almost thought that it wasn't a good workout if I wasn't feeling like so exhausted that I could walk, or like I had to have like a pool of sweat around me after I finished my workout. I started to let go of that. And I've started focusing on building some real muscle, okay? Because what does muscle do? If you have listened to any of my podcasts, you probably know, boosts your metabolism. And when you have a lot of muscle in your body, you don't have to do a lot of manual calorie burning through running or through spinning or all that kind of stuff. Just train consistently. I think I started with like 3 days a week, lift heavy weights and then rest. Lift heavy weights and rest. And also take rest days. Let your body heal. Let your body recover. Because if you're constantly working out, you're never resting. When is the healing happening? It's not happening, right? Because we're on the go all the time. This was a huge mistake that I made when I was still doing tons of HIIT and tons of running. My body never recovered from that stuff. And so here we go. This is when I realized that, okay, with balancing your macronutrients, I was able to get my morning blood glucose back to normal. I was able to get rid of my period cramps. I still have them sometimes, but they're not nearly as bad because I'm focusing on protein and fat. I was able to put on a lot of muscle, and I was able to finally get what I wanted to, which was get that athletic look, this toned look, if you want to call it this way. I like to call it the muscular look. And again, I'm not talking about like bodybuilder style. I'm not like ripped and all that, but I just feel good in my body. I didn't have any like extreme goals. And if you have them, that's fine. It just wasn't me. I just was not feeling good in my body. I was not feeling great in my clothes. And this is why I wanted to lose that body fat and feel a little bit more defined, feel stronger, strength too, and just feel really good about myself. So this is kind of how I came in, like, to this middle place, from starting from this overtraining and doing crazy stuff, and then going to a place where I wasn't paying attention to any of my food and gaining a lot of weight, to finally I came to this middle place when I can do what I want. I can sustain this because my workouts are not so depleting. I can eat the things that I like, and I do track them, not always anymore because I don't have any major goal right now, but but so that I was able to maintain what I had accomplished. And it has not been that difficult, to be honest with you. It has not been that difficult. So I'm really happy with that middle place, that balance place, and I hope that you can see too why it is so important to pay attention to your health, because it can really get bad if you let things go in one direction too far or in the other direction too far. You gotta find that balance. And a lot of this balance you can find through right nutrition and right training, and also plenty of rest. And I would also personally add in spiritual work, like I mentioned in my last episode too. I have gotten so much deeper into understanding who I am, what I want, how I talk to myself, what is my goal here, what's my purpose here. So all these things have almost like come together. And it's not to say that there's no more work to do. There always is, but this is definitely the best place, like food and exercise wise, where I have ever been. So I hope this episode series or this mini series was interesting for you to listen to, and now you understand a little bit better where I'm coming from, why I'm doing the things that way I am doing, why I'm not the coach who's like go home or go hard or go home type of coach, and why I really prioritize health, and also why I want to tell you that it is okay to have body goals, because I thought for the longest time that it's not okay. You can't have that. You don't love yourself if you have body goals, if you want to change your physique. And now I see, no, it's not true. You can definitely have both. You can love yourself, like yourself, accept yourself, and want to change your body. So this is all I got for you today. I hope it was interesting for you to listen. And if you have any thoughts, any comments at all, please feel free to send them on my Instagram. I'm so happy and always very excited to read them. So hopefully I will see you in my Instagram DMs, or you can always, of course, leave comments on my blog or YouTube as well. So the podcasts are back. I'm so excited about that. And thank you so much. I will talk to you again very soon. Bye-bye.